Money doesn't always disappear when something is wrong. Sometimes it stays and gets heavier. Not in a dramatic way, not in a crisis way, but in a quiet, unmistakable way that changes how you move. You hesitate before spending. You calculate before committing. You feel the emotional weight of every financial decision, even the small ones, and you can't quite explain why. You're not reckless. You're not ignoring reality. You're not pretending things are fine when they're not. In fact, you might be more responsible now than you've ever been. So why does it feel like money suddenly carries more pressure? Why does earning feel more demanding than it used to? Why does spending feel more emotional instead of practical? Why does it feel like progress is happening internally, but not yet externally? What if money feels heavy right now because you're in a value cycle, not a scarcity cycle? What if this season isn't here to take from you, but to teach you how to carry value differently? Because there are times when money flows easily to reward momentum, and there are times when it slows down to test alignment. And the difference between those two phases isn't effort, it's timing. If you've been feeling the weight, not panic, but pressure, this isn't here to alarm you. It's here to explain what's happening beneath the surface. If this phase has made you more cautious, more introspective, or more emotionally aware around money, that reaction makes sense. Money isn't just currency, it's autonomy, it's relief. It's the buffer between you and uncertainty. When it feels charged, your body doesn't interpret that as a budgeting issue. It interprets it as a safety question. You may be functioning well on the outside, while internally carrying a low-grade tension you can't shake. A sense that mistakes would cost more now than they used to. That you don't have the same margin for error. Because you're capable, you don't dramatize it. You adjust. You plan. You compensate. But quietly, you wonder why things that once felt straightforward now feel consequential. This is often where self-blame creeps in, where you start asking if you missed a step or failed to capitalize on something when you had the chance. But this isn't a failure response. It's a transition response. Money does not only respond to effort, it responds to value alignment. There are seasons when output produces expansion because who you are and how you earn are still in harmony. And there are seasons when that harmony shifts and the same effort produces resistance instead of reward. When that happens, money doesn't vanish, it presses. It applies weight. Not to punish you, but to slow you down long enough to notice that something internal has outgrown the structure supporting it. In numerology, these are value cycles, periods where accumulation pauses so refinement can occur. They are not about earning more. They are about redefining what worth means before the next level of wealth can be sustained. This is why money can feel heavier now, because the cycle isn't asking you to hustle harder. It's asking you to mature your relationship with value. Financial pressure often increases when identity evolves faster than income models, when who you are becoming no longer fits the way you've been earning. That mismatch creates friction, not because you're incapable, but because you're misaligned. And when you're still measuring success by standards that no longer reflect your values. Money carries emotional weight. Numerology was never meant to label personalities or predict luck. Its earliest use tracked rhythm, seasons of building, seasons of harvesting, and seasons of consolidation. Ancient systems understood that forcing growth in the wrong phase didn't create abundance. It created collapse. That wisdom still applies. You see it when companies pause expansion to stabilize operations, when economies tighten before restructuring, when people feel money pressure right before leaving roles that paid well but drained them, when entrepreneurs feel stuck just before abandoning models that no longer fit. These are not coincidences. They are value cycles at work. Wealth matures through integration, not acceleration. Before expansion resumes, the foundation must be able to support it. That's why the most important action right now is observation without judgment. Notice where money feels draining versus where it feels clean. Notice what exhausts you emotionally and what feels sustainable. Audit your definition of success. Ask whether the goals you're chasing were inherited from survival or alignment. Many people stay stuck because they're trying to maintain a version of success their nervous system has already outgrown. Simplification becomes strategy here, not deprivation, refinement. Fewer streams, clearer priorities, stronger boundaries around what you exchange your energy for. Preparation matters. Value cycles are not idle time. They are preparation time. Strengthening systems, refining skills, clarifying direction without demanding immediate payoff. When the cycle turns, momentum returns quickly, but only if the foundation is ready. And when you move through this season consciously, your relationship with money changes. It stops feeling like a verdict on your worth. It stops controlling your emotional state. It becomes information again. Decisions feel calmer. Spending loses its charge. Earning becomes intentional instead of compulsive. The heaviness lifts, not because you forced it, but because alignment replaced resistance. So let me ask you something that matters more than how much you're earning right now. What definition of success might this value cycle be asking you to release, so the next phase of your financial life can be built on something sustainable? Money doesn't get heavy to break you. It gets heavy to teach you how to carry value without collapsing under it. If this spoke to you, share it with someone carrying quiet financial pressure. And if you want to keep decoding the cycles shaping your health, wealth, and relationships, make sure you're subscribed. This work unfolds layer by layer,